Salud. And welcome once again to another episode of Stu Him Productions Presents
J&M, Solve the World. I am James.
And I am Matt. And with us in studio, James.
Once again, our favorite band from down around the Branson area, Mr. Jack Gates.
One of two law enforcement representatives.
Yes.
That
has graced the J&M podcast.
Yes. And on the phone.
Oh, no.
All the way from the flaccid penis of the United States, your favorite Italian and mine, all the way from Florida, Dwight.
Yo, what's happening? Hey, James.
Hey,
James, this time you're over there and I'm over here.
yeah.
Hey, you're over there.
Hey.
Over there.
Hey, over there with the
Let me
thing.
see me.
Oh.
Hey. All right, so tonight the topic is going to be something that we all know something, actually we all know a lot about.
We've kind of lived it a little bit.
Yes, and the best part about it is we have 4 different perspectives.
Right.
Cool, it's the weed episode.
The weed episode.
For your law enforcement friend, it's been about 20 years. That was
I don't know, unless there was something in them brownies we had earlier.
Now, he said they weren't special brownies.
That's what he said.
You're safe. You're safe.
Okay.
I'm not drug tested. Because if I was, 85% of our workforce would be gone.
It's like when I worked up at Friendly Ford, they go, my first day there, my manager came up and goes, there's a drug test tomorrow. I'm going, okay. He goes, yeah, you got to bring in all your drugs and make sure they're okay.
I think I actually have to take one next week. No, I already took it for that job. Never mind. Yeah.
We're going to talk about Gen X. Of course, Generation X goes from 1964 to 1980.
Yep.
So we all fall in there.
Right.
Now, you two old bastards are at the beginning of it. Dwight and I are like right in the middle of it. So,
Yeah.
you know.
It is what it is.
Right. But then,
Jackie
like,
and I are old enough to remember the 70s, too.
Gen X has 69 in it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
you know, and you started off in New York, Dwight, and then you moved down to Florida. You know, and of course, there's the big culture shock there.
I was 7. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Right, but I mean, you know.
I missed making snow angels.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, the way James grew up out here in the sticks, which you've been out here, Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living. And that's as far as we can go with that. And then...
Copyright.
Yeah. And then, of course, Jackie Boy, different. I grew up in rural Missouri, and then we moved up to Illinois into the big city, quote unquote. You didn't see the air quotes there, but I swear they were there.
I believe you.
So we'll start with the furthest guest, Dwight.
Okay.
Name one thing that is 100%, in your opinion, Gen X. No other generation has it. What is something that is strictly Generation X?
That's a good question. Strictly Generation X.
Does it have to be created by a Generation
X?
X?
I think that we were brought up on the values of still having to work hard for, you know, what you get, where that didn't fade so much in the next sequence. But the generation after that really kind of went away because, you know, certain people's children's aside, there's a lot of them out there with their hands out. So I'd say the instilling values, instilling some of the core values, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
In my opinion, of course.
Yes. to our guest in the studio, Jack. What is something that is purely Generation X?
You know, we got to see the end of the Cold War, the fall of Berlin Wall. That was a really big event in our lifetimes.
Right, yeah.
Good call, sir.
Thank you.
James, if you will.
Kind of on that line, we also got to see the start of like the shuttle missions to the end of the shuttle missions and the two disasters that happened, the one with the launch and the one with the return. And, just the technology that's happened in our lifetimes. It's just, when I was growing up as a kid, we had 3 channels and a rotary telephone.
And a party line, as a matter of fact.
And a party line, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember those.
Yeah. But now I got this little rectangular dish out on my roof that connects me to the freaking world.
Yeah.
Plus our cell phones.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
For me, something that is strictly Gen X, the boomers didn't have this. The silent generation didn't have this. The greatest generation didn't have this. Millennials, Z, they didn't have this.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting in school, watching the Space Shuttle Challenger explode live on television.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, I was in 6th grade, and we were watching it. And my friends and I, we were sick, twisted individuals anyways. And my buddy Aaron and I, we laughed because we thought it was a joke. We thought it was make-believe. It never registered that it was real.
Right.
And then
Go ahead.
when my daughter and Scott and I we went to Kennedy Space Center and walking through the Hall of Heroes and seeing the astronauts from the Challenger. I mean, it brought it all back, like how I felt watching, not personally knowing these people and not like physically seeing them, but seeing their craft explode. It's and I'm not taking anything away from any tragedy of any generation, but 9/11, for instance, nobody turned it on until after the first plane and the second plane was coming in.
Right.
I mean, you saw the second plane coming in.
Yeah, because the news was like breaking news, and there was, one of the towers was already smoking.
Right.
But
and
I did see, because I was working in Bolivar, and somebody came out and said something about, you got to come watch this. And I'm like, what's going on? So I went in the office, turned on the TV, and it's like, or went in and watched this, and I'm like, what the hell? And that tower sitting there smoking, and the second plane comes, boom.
Right.
And seeing that live.
Whereas
we're just kind of standing there like, what the hell
I
is
remember
going
that
on?
very well.
Yeah.
I have different memories of both of those events. Actually, just for some reason, my 6th grade class, for whatever reason, we weren't allowed, or we were one of the only classes that didn't go outside and didn't have a TV. And I remember one of the teachers came in and whispered something to our teacher, and then we were informed. And then, even 9/11, it was I was working overnights, and it was that was one of the few mornings when I didn't stay up for an extra beer and some, just alone time with everybody out of the house. And I shut the TV off a minute or two before I'm sure it blasted across all the channels. And I woke up a couple hours later to a friend of mine and my then wife, going, the towers are down. And I was like, what? And it was like, where's my shit? Sign me back up.
Right.
Yeah.
My daughter's, because I was working overnights at that time, living out in Phoenix, and my daughter's mom came in, and she was 8 months pregnant. No, 7.
So they're at 6 in the morning over by you then.
Yeah, and she comes, and I had been in bed for a couple of hours, and she comes and wakes me up, turns on the TV there in the bedroom, and I'm just like sitting there. It's like, what the fuck am I seeing? And she was scared that I was going to get called back up. And, but But with the Challenger, at least for me, because we did watch it live. They brought the televisions in for the 6th grade.
Right.
And, we watched it take off, and then we watched it explode.
What year was that?
86 maybe? 84?
Because I was going to say, because we'd already graduated.
86?
86, 87.
86?
Yeah, we graduated, yeah.
Yeah.
See, and I had no idea of, I was working off a description, and as a kid, I'm going to claim ignorance on that, but I was like, one of my first questions was like, blew up like how? Like, is it salvageable or what? And this one girl turns around and she goes, "You don't even care about the people," and just bitched me out. And I'm like, I said, I'm not aware of the severity of what happened here,
Right,
and it was
a
like
$2 billion aircraft. What the hell?
Yeah, right. Yeah, grow some tits and then talk to me, you fucking whore. God.
1986.
86. Okay.
Yeah. And then the Space Shuttle Columbia, February 1st, 2003, disintegrated as it re-entered the atmosphere over Texas and Louisiana.
I mean, every generation's got its tragedies, and I'll elaborate. But go ahead, James.
I was going to say, because it lost some tiles or something in takeoff. It was like some foam or something that had fell, and it actually knocked some of the tiles off the front edge of the wings or something. And so
Wasn't it an O-ring or something that ultimately was the cause
on the Challenger.
That's
That was
the
the
Challenger.
Challenger.
Yeah.
But
The fuel cell.
on the one coming back in, it lost some of the protective tiles, and so as it came in, it heated up, and then it just started peeling back and just
Yeah.
Eroded.
Yep.
But every generation is going to have, something. It's just every 20 years or so something. I think if you look at history and what we've seen in our lifetime, and even things like, Dimebag, 20 years to the day of, John Lennon and all kinds of things like that. And I mean, Matt, our kids, COVID, I mean, hate to even bring that fucker up, but just in the spirit of history repeats itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
I mean,
and the bad thing about it is we never learn from it.
right.
It seems like every year we have a war for some,
Well, and
or not every year,
Well,
about every
well,
20
well,
years.
well,
'Cause World
well,
War
look at
One,
look at it too.
The war to end all wars.
yeah,
20 years later, World War II.
right. Now,
Korea was thrown in there, and then 20 years later, Vietnam.
right. So you had
But we think that we got to keep them going for longer and longer. That's apparently the pace we're on now.
yeah,
Because, World War II, our involvement officially was 4 years.
in Europe.
1941 to
Yep.
1945.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we didn't declare war against Japan until they bombed Pearl Harbor in 1941.
right.
The war was over in 1945.
Correct.
Okay. Korea lasted about 4 or 5 years, something like that. Then Vietnam, we're like, yeah, let's stretch this out to 10. Now the war on terror, let's make that 23.
And what's sad, like you said too, it's like I'm all about patriotism and all that. You guys know that, man. But America forgets, man. 9/11, dude. Cops and firefighters, man, were the shit, dude. And I think, in my opinion, of course, since the Obama administration, it's been open season on cops. The same thing with healthcare professionals with the COVID. We were fucking heroes for the first 3 months, dude. And then now that they've turned the tables and people lost their jobs and were losing their careers and just getting fucked over. And it was like, really?
Absolutely right, Dwight.
Well, and
Thank you, sir.
And one of the things that not to take away from anything, but on September 12th, 2001, there were no African Americans. There were no Italian Americans. There were no anything other than Americans.
Just plain American.
Everyone.
There was no Democrats, no Republicans.
No.
It was.
Nope.
We were one
all
as a
fucking
country.
Americans.
Yes.
That's right.
We were all Americans. You couldn't go into a store and find a single American flag anything. And
And the quickie marts, man, you go in there, man, and fucking Apu was wearing a fucking Yankees jersey or something.
Yeah.
Because, just like, hey, I'm with you guys, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and that was really the right thing to do, because, like, why are we, you didn't do it. It's the same thing with.
It's an unfortunate thing that a tragedy like that, because there
Is
was,
what brings us together.
there was no gang violence. I mean, you had Crips and Bloods who have been warring for
decades.
Yeah. And now they're claiming this is our country. I mean, but anyways, back to Gen X.
So basically what you're telling me is the only way this world's going to unite and have world peace is when the aliens come and invade and they're not friendly. Just like an Independence Day.
We'll just call it Will Smith to go up there and bitch slap him.
Yeah, there you go.
Another thing.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Alien.
Another big thing that came out during Gen X's time was music videos.
Oh yeah.
I was just thinking about that, man. What would you say? Was it 60 something to 80?
64 to 80.
Getting rock and roll, man.
Yep.
MTV made its debut in 81.
81.
Yeah.
With the song. Do you remember the song?
Video Killed the Radio Star.
By the Buggles. That's correct.
Yep.
Very first video played on MTV.
Yep.
And it should have been the very last video played on MTV.
I remember when they used to play videos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, see, MTV's been 81, so they've been around for 42 years, and they gave us about 6 great years of music videos.
Yeah. That's
Adam
right.
Curry, Ricky Rackman.
No.
You had your little.
They went to 1990 because I remember watching Headbangers Ball 1990, or it was the decade in review, and they went back to videos from 1980, which was AC/DC, Back in Black.
Yeah.
And then they 81, 82, and it went on up. And they had Motley Crue in as guests. They had Vince Neil and Tommy Lee.
Yep.
And Ricky's like, so what are you guys going to be doing in about 10 years? He's like, we're probably going to be hanging out with you, you piece of shit,
Yeah.
But, 2000 rolled around and it was gone.
Yeah. But, MTV, because those of us in middle America, that's how we knew about new bands.
Right.
Because the radio stations weren't playing that stuff.
Right.
Not around here.
No, you had your classic rock stations,
Right.
which were playing old, Beatles and shit like that. I don't mean shit like that,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying.
Stuff.
It was.
Well, that hurts now, because classic rock is playing Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses.
Oh, I know,
and shit.
yeah.
It's like,
when you finally got when you're old, whenever you listen to songs on the classic rock station that you never used to hear on any rock station because they were too heavy.
I said something to my son the other day. I said something about Metallica's they had a big thing after the 72 season release, like they've been around like 42 years or something. So, and a little wise ass, I love him so much, I brought him up right, I think, but little wise ass looks at me and goes, so you're older than Metallica? And I was like, you know what, go fuck yourself, go back to your room and play on your computer. Dick.
No, but those guys
Take your take your pizza rolls and go fuck yourself, all right? Dick.
Well, and I mean, if you think about it, in the late 80s, up until probably like 88, 89, all we had was Headbangers Ball. Saturday nights, 11 to 1. And then about 89, they started with the Hard 30.
Right.
In the afternoons, there was a 30-minute block of heavy metal music. And then it got bigger, and it went to the Hard 60. So every afternoon, Monday through Friday, for an hour was a block of heavy metal music. And it's like, that's the only time you see the video to Seasons in the Abyss or the video to...
They used to play that on Headbangers Ball.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, during the day.
Right.
You see Biohazard. You see Prong. Snap your finger, snap your neck.
Yeah. And to be fair, that's about the same time Yo MTV Rap started, too. When the hip-hop started... coming about, and that's another thing, Gen X.
Yeah.
The hip hop, the rap music really.
Oh yeah.
Exploded during that.
And honestly, to speak about hip hop and rap and everything, it started a culture a whole fucking culture. And they started something that nobody else had ever done. You know, heavy metal music was rock and roll played down-tuned faster. Country music was, I mean, kind of rock and roll slower.
The whole and country music had a big resurgence in the 80s too.
Yes.
With the urban cowboy thing. And then it had another resurgence in the early 90s with, you know, your Travis Tritt and Garth Brooks and stuff. And when country basically became 70s rock and roll with a twang.
Right.
Yeah.
They added a steel guitar and stuff to it, but it was basically 70s rock and roll.
Yeah.
You know?
It was Skinner, but without a third guitar, it was a steel guitar.
Right.
Rock and roll never really went away. You went through the grunge thing and what you know, stuff like that, and a lot of that was cool. Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, and whatnot. But I mean, I think the things that a lot of things, you know, they persevere, whether it's underground or whatever, you know. But
well, that's like,
shit on it, man.
That's like Metallica.
I'm still
Metallica started out as an underground band that got freaking huge in Europe.
Oh yeah.
Before, and they had a hell of a following in the States, but you never heard a Metallica song on the radio because they never released a single. They never released a video.
Right.
I mean, I think you're
until one.
Right.
In 1987.
And Metallica, they stuck to their guns and everything like that, but the Master of Puppets tour where they opened up for Ozzy brought them out to a huge crowd. And Ozzy did that with Motley Crue, and you know Ozzy had done that with so many bands,
right?
And it's like, where would these bands be had Ozzy not been fired from Black Sabbath,
right?
And became Ozzy,
right?
The Oz Man.
Even Black Sabbath brought Van Halen out, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and Van Halen was because of Gene Simmons. Because Gene went to the club to hear another band, and I guess they didn't show up or whatnot, and he loved what Van Halen was doing, and he shopped Van Halen to all the record companies in Los Angeles, all the record companies in New York, and they wanted nothing to do with him. So Gene was like, okay, I'll do it myself. And, it was, where would Van Halen be?
I think Europe was always ahead of it. Go ahead, James.
Where would guitarists be today if Van Halen would have never got signed?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I mean,
not where they are.
The influence of Eddie Van Halen on everybody since Eddie Van Halen. I mean, shit.
Randy
and
Rhoads
I love that
even talked about being influenced by Eddie.
Eddie Van Halen was like, he did an interview at some point a long time ago, and he was like, everybody used to tease me and bust my balls and everything, and because you're sitting in your room playing your guitar, and we're out partying and getting girls and stuff. And he goes, I sat there and I studied that goddamn guitar, and he goes, I got out there and learned to play that bitch, and I had all the parties and girls I wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was like, and that's just like, I really, that's, you can attribute that to any kind of dedication, put yourself, put the work in.
Yeah.
Hard work pays off.
And it took Vinnie Paul looking at Dime when they were kids, and Dime had
learn to play that fucking thing?
Yeah. He was just sitting there with his Kiss makeup on, and he was posing in front of the mirror, and Vinnie just asked him, you ever going to learn to play that thing? And he locked himself away for a summer.
Right.
And that's all he did from waking up to going to bed was learn that guitar. And he pretty much had won all guitar contests in Texas.
They said when he came out, when he came out of that bedroom, he pretty much sounded the way he did up until the day he died.
Yep.
I mean, he mastered it just by locking himself in his room.
Yeah.
And hocking loogies on the wall.
All right. Jack's got notes.
I do.
Let's hear some of these notes.
Okay.
Hold on, wait. You got the drum roll sound effect in there?
No. Well, I got
okay.
I got the rim shot, but
well, easy now.
Here's some trivia for all of you to answer. Do you remember any of the toy crazes?
Oh, fuck yeah.
G.I.
G.I. Joe,
Transformers.
Okay.
the Star Wars action figures.
Yeah.
Care Bears.
Cabbage Patch Kids, yes, Care Bears.
My older brother Tony takes offense to that because he looks like a modern day Cabbage Patch doll. According to my daughter.
I'm gonna have to go with Legos too. Legos.
What He-Man?
Like, but back.
Yeah.
Yeah, He-Man was the 80s.
Yep.
Yeah. Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe.
Remember the Rubik's Cube?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Man, that was big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never mastered it, but I certainly like to.
Oh shit!
I ended up getting a cheat book, and I did master it.
There's videos of kids, and I say kids because they're under 18, and they hold world records for solving Rubik's cubes.
Oh yeah.
There was a kid on America's Got Talent,
Yeah.
and he had everybody look at this cube. He put it in a paper bag after he showed the bag was empty, put it in the bag, tossed it up 1, 2, 3, pulled it out, and it was solved.
Wow.
I'd say that's a little magic trick there.
You know-
I'm sure. But then there's a kid in China or Japan. He juggles 4, and in less than 60 seconds, he solves all 4 of them.
That's
I was just gonna say that Kim showed me that video not too long ago, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Get the fuck out of here with this."
Of course, too. As far as toys, the video game,
Yeah, Atari.
the Atari,
That sort of.
Pong.
Yeah, Pong was the
Pong
original.
started-
Atari sort of.
That
Now you
was-
got into different kinds of
That
games.
was like, holy shit! There's a cartridge, and there's that looks like a
Yes.
helicopter, chopper command. You
Yeah.
know,
I remember. I
fire.
remember. I was riding my bike around my neighborhood, man, and it was a garage sale a couple blocks away, man. They had an Atari, whatever the 1600 or whatever the fuck it was, with like 40 games or some shit. It was like
2600.
2600. Yeah,
It had,
and it, had a
the,
bunch of games.
Yeah, it had the paneling in
Cartridges.
front of it.
I hauled ass home, and I begged my mom, I'm like, please just front me in some allowance. I will fucking.
Of course, the video.
I will scrub the floors, dude.
Oh,
and she
God.
bought it for me.
I mean, the video arcade. You take a pocket full of quarters and go to the fucking arcade.
You know, that was a social incident. Yeah,
Oh.
that was a major thing for us in the
Yeah,
80s.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like the pole position,
Yeah.
one of the first racing
Oh,
games.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I was I was all over that.
okay. This says how influential video games were. The song Pac-Man Fever
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
was a #1 hit.
It was.
Right.
All right. What else you got, Jack? That was fun.
Did you
What
like
else you
that?
got, dude?
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Let's talk about movies.
Mm.
What do you guys think were the top 10 movies of the 80s?
Ghostbusters.
E.T.,
E.T.
Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, as it was originally known, not Indiana Jones.
I don't know.
and Raiders
I don't
of
know
the
if this
Lost Ark.
makes. I don't know if this makes the list, but actually, 2 of them, Top Gun and Beverly Hills Cop.
Absolutely. Those are great movies.
Thank you.
Terminator.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
That'll be back.
You know what's funny?
Conan the Barbarian.
Funny,
You
though.
know, Conan the Barbarian. Well, it was 80s. It was early.
Oh, what was the other one there, man? Titans, the War of the Titans or some shit.
Oh, Clash of the Titans.
Oh,
Clash of the Titans. There you go.
That was the 70s
yeah. that
because
late
it was
70s.
claymation.
Yeah.
All the monsters were claymation.
Harry.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Okay, yeah.
Harry Hamlin.
Yeah,
Yeah, Hamlin
yeah.
was the actor, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, out of the, I looked up what the top 10 movies were
Die
in
Hard?
the 80s.
Was it on the
And one's been mentioned, but the rest haven't.
Really? Go down.
Yeah. Number 10 was Heathers.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a movie, actually, I don't know.
Yeah, Christian Slater.
Winona Ryder.
Yeah. They were a young.
Okay.
All right, number 9 is one that Dwight mentioned, Top Gun.
Okay. Yeah.
Number 8 was Goonies.
Oh.
That was an awesome movie.
Yeah. Yep.
Gremlins has got to be on there then.
Booty traps.
Number 7 was The Lost Boys.
Oh, shit.
That was the the epic
Yeah.
80s vampire movie.
Oh,
that
yeah.
and Fright Night. But
Honestly, one of the best vampire movies ever made.
it was
in my book.
absolutely.
You know, Kiefer Sutherland.
Number 6 is one that James and I. Matter of fact, the first time I saw it was at James's house, and we laughed our asses off through the whole movie. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh my God.
Oh, classic.
To me, that's the classic 80s movie, you know?
Phoebe Cates, the most paused scene in the 80s.
Yeah.
I'm
That
just
was
saying.
a great scene, let's be honest.
I'm just saying.
I'm watching it in my mind's eye right now.
Number 5, I've seen the movie. I don't know why it made this list, but Real Genius with Val Kilmer.
Oh, because it was a great fucking movie. And
You know what's got to be on there then? Weird Science.
You're good, Dwight. That's the very next one. Number 4 is Weird Science. Very good.
Fuck yeah.
Kelly LeBrock. Whoa.
Oh, who didn't have a crush on her, right?
John Hughes.
Gay guys.
I mean, it was a John. No, even gay guys loved.
I think she turned some motherfuckers, man.
Probably.
Check out the hair on this
I
piece.
know even non-lesbians still loved her.
Kelly LeBrock changed gay men like Freddie Mercury changed straight men.
Okay, number 3 is one we all know. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh,
yeah.
of course.
Awesome.
The classic skipping school movie, right? Yeah.
Right.
Donkey shame.
It was too fucking cool for school, man.
Darling.
Absolutely.
Donkey shame.
Who had a bit role in that became a big star? Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're right.
that's
He had a
right.
little bit at
Yes.
the end. When,
Yeah, he was there when they took the sister to jail.
That's correct.
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
you're right.
And she had a big role a little bit later on in
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing.
Yep.
Is that on the list?
Actually, it's not.
Really?
I know. Isn't that strange?
That's strange, yeah.
Number 2 is Back to the Future.
Okay.
I can buy
Yep.
that,
Yep.
yeah.
Good
And
movie.
rightfully so.
It's a good
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
And number 1, the number 1 movie of the 80s was The Breakfast Club.
John Hughes.
Yep, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
E.T. was not on that list?
It was not. Now, I'm not saying it wouldn't have been in top 20. It didn't make the top 10.
Okay. Now, because I know on the list of movies of all time, I believe E.T. is in like the top 5
That wouldn't
of
surprise
top
me.
grossing movies.
That's a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did you know,
Of course, was E.T., was that 80s or was that late
That was
70s?
80s.
Was it
That was-
80s?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was 80s.
did
Okay.
you know the E.T. universe coincides with the Star Wars universe?
No.
So,
Because then there's
How do you
the
tie
one of
that
the
together?
senates or
Okay,
something.
hang on.
The Senate, right?
Hang on. In E.T., when they've got the sheet over him, it's Halloween and they're going trick-or-treating, and he sees a kid dressed up like Yoda. He's like, and they're talking. Now you go back to the Phantom Menace when they're in the
Yep.
Senate,
He's
and
the
in one of the
council.
pods,
It's-
there's 3 of them, if you will.
Okay,
But
those
that was
types of
something with-
extraterrestrials. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. I
That was
remember
with
that.
Lucas and Spielberg. They were like
Yes.
throwing nods to each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Spielberg worked on Star Wars and George Lucas worked on Indiana Jones with because Indiana Jones is Spielberg and Star Wars was Lucas, but yeah.
Of course, in the 80s, the action star
Oh my
became
God.
a big deal.
Oh, absolutely.
Stallone,
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
There you go.
Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren,
Yeah.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis,
Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
That's correct.
and God, what's his name? Damn it! I thought it. I just went blank.
Movie.
Huh?
What movie?
was he?
Chuck Norris, of course.
Yep. He did a lot of movies in the
A
80s.
lot of movies in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean,
They were action star. He was
oh
action star.
no, I'm not taking that away from him, but I mean, he got his start with like real big start with Bruce Lee.
Yes.
Yeah, but nobody
sure
knew who
did.
the fuck Chuck Norris was then.
He was the
He
white.
had that little part at the end, really.
Yeah,
He,
it a
he
fight
was the
scene.
white guy that got beat up by Bruce Lee.
Right. But then I just seen an interview with him, and he was talking about when he got that role. He's like, so I get to spar with Bruce Lee because he was an admirer of Bruce Lee. He said, I get to do
Yeah.
this movie role. He said, do I get to win? And they're like,
Yeah, right.
he's like, okay, I was just asking.
Yeah.
But
Okay, Jack. What do you got next?
Mel Gibson,
Mel Gibson,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
With Road Warrior.
Road Warrior, and then the Lethal Weapon movies.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
And he's
Was that-
just progressed. He's now, he's not only an actor, he's a producer,
Director, writer.
filmmaker. You know,
writer.
made some of the biggest movies.
He
Oh
has
my God.
Braveheart, Passion of the Christ.
Oh my God! I
The
mean,
Patriot.
Amazing movies.
oh yeah, the Patriot.
We Were Soldiers.
Oh, that was an incredible war movie. Yeah.
My brother's seen that, and he said that was probably the most accurate depiction of a war movie he's ever seen.
Is that right?
He said because you actually seen the brass
Right.
piling up at their feet.
Right.
Yeah.
And when they were flying the guys out in the helicopters, when they get them off the gurneys, they'd go and they'd flush the helicopter out to wash all the blood and everything out
Yeah.
of the helicopter and stuff, And he
Well-
said it was probably the most accurate depiction because Hollywood's them up,
Right.
But he said that's just the little things, like
Right.
seeing brass pile up by their feet as they're shooting the machine guns. And,
Well,
you
and
know.
that's the thing is, and your brother knows that war,
Right.
and
Hacksaw Ridge is another one that
right,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of World War II veterans that would say the same thing about Saving Private Ryan,
And they have said
Mm-hmm.
that same thing.
the beach landing.
right.
If we're still in the 80s, Platoon, and I think
Yes.
80s is Full Metal Jacket as well, right?
That's correct.
I
it
believe
was.
so, yeah. Yep.
And that was an amazing movie. I remember when I was getting ready to join the army, someone said, he had been in the military. I said, so, is there any movie or anything that can prepare me for what I'm about to do, basic wise? He goes,
Right.
yeah. You need to see Full Metal Jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was pretty accurate in a lot of ways. It was,
He was just trying to scare you off from even fucking joining.
I suppose. Didn't
Now,
work.
now the movie that could have prepared you for Army basic training was Stripes.
Oh, come on, Stripes.
Another.
I was going to say you better not say Private Benjamin.
That's a fact, Jack.
Oh,
I had
Private
to crawl through
Benjamin,
I had to crawl through the phone, dude.
bro.
That was another
bro.
80s movie,
Yeah,
early 80s.
Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn was so freaking hot. I mean,
Yeah,
She's a pretty girl. Yeah.
Yep.
and she has passed the beauty on to her daughter, Kate Hudson.
yeah.
Who's also an exceptional actress.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
Yes.
Talking about Goldie Hawn, Kurt Russell,
Yes.
hell of an action star in the '80s. Started, the
Escape from New York.
Remember
Escape
the
from-
Oh,
Thing?
Snake
Thing.
Plissken.
I love the thing.
Oh yeah.
That was
Snake Plissken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And for those of you, it sort of has a cult following. I consider myself
Yeah, the
someone who
cult.
appreciates it. The Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh.
That
Yeah,
was an amazing movie.
Yep. Yep.
Now,
that was good stuff.
Yes, it was.
And what about Patrick Swayze?
oh
Yeah, Red Dawn,
Red Dawn,
The Outsiders.
Roadhouse,
Outsiders. Oh my God, that
Outsiders.
was fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
and then he had his Ghost.
Go-
And great movie. Don't get me wrong.
That was
Not-
an
not-
early
not-
90s, though.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not an action movie.
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
That's what made him a star.
Oh.
was Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Tu Wong Fu. That was in the 90s.
Yeah, that's.
But okay, with that movie, just jumping into the 90s here. Tu Wong Fu, in my opinion, showed the range that
Oh, yeah.
Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo have.
Right.
Because Wesley Snipes' character, I mean, definitely that butch, independent woman. I am woman. I am all that is,
Right.
I am fierce. You will fear me. John Leguizamo was that, oh, I hope you like me, and But then Patrick Swayze's character was, she was June Cleaver, the neighbor that you wanted that would bake cakes and cookies and
Right.
and have lemonade for you on a warm summer's day.
Yep.
Or
Of course,
And-
a 90s movie where Kurt Russell dressed up like a woman, Tango and Cash.
Yeah.
To
Tango
sneak, to
Cash.
sneak out of the bar, and he dressed up. He got on the bike with that girl.
I think the best line from that movie was when Stallone goes, "Rambo was a pussy."
yeah, yeah, exactly. Who you think you are, Rambo?
okay,
Rambo was a pussy.
staying on the quote unquote cross dressing theme, the television show Bosom Buddies with Tom Hanks.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I mean, and that was, I don't know. I mean, okay, Tom Hanks, Splash,
Splash.
Big.
Yeah,
Yes.
big.
Money Pit,
Bachelor Party.
Bachelor Party, Joe versus
What?
the Volcano,
Volunteers. Remember that?
Volunteers.
Yeah.
Bachelor
And not
Party
Tom
with-
Hanks, but what about War of the Roses?
Oh,
That was a good
Oh,
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Of
mean,
course, I'm still back on Bachelor Party and Tawny Katane.
Well,
Do you remember Fatal Attraction?
oh my God.
oh my
I
Yeah.
god,
mean, that scared a lot of men, especially.
yeah.
Yeah.
Scared them into, well, I think I'm going to be faithful to my wife now.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need no crazy bitch. Oh,
Yeah, I caught my wife taking notes one day. I'm like, put that away.
Risky Business,
Oh,
Yes. That's a classic
yeah. That's
80s
a classic
movie.
80s movie.
Rebecca De Mornay.
Yes. Very young Rebecca. Yeah.
I had a poster when I was in the Marine Corps, in my barracks room on my portion of the
This
room.
isn't going to be a Vez story, is
No,
it?
no, no,
Okay,
no.
just check.
I had above my bed, like on the wall above my bed, was a poster of Tracy Lords. And then on the other wall, next to the window, was a poster of Rebecca De Mornay.
I see.
Do you remember that movie she was in, Hand That Rocks the Cradle?
Yes.
Oh my God!
Played a. Quite
Wow.
Yeah.
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 Equal whore, different fucking medium.
Right. But you got to see her boobs in that movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of 80s boobs, we just
Trading
saw this-
Places.
Trading Places.
Yes.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh,
We have talked about that several times. I've watched the special edition on that movie, and it comes to that scene, and John Landis is just saying, "Oh, Dan Aykroyd."
Yeah.
You know, because they were basically the only ones on the set
right.
at that time, and it was just like,
Cut. We need to do this again.
so that
Take-
scene in Trading
Take
Places
47. Oh,
and the Phoebe Cates scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High,
Yes.
yeah.
most paused scenes ever. And you know, and I'll say this about Jamie Lee Curtis: she has always been, you know, upstanding in the media and everything, and she one of the first women in Hollywood in the 80s that had that short haircut and made it look good.
Pulled it off.
Oh yeah. She,
You,
she wasn't the pre Karen, I need to speak to your manager.
You remember
Yes.
a movie called Just One of the Guys?
Yes.
It starred Joyce Heiser.
Yes.
Where she dressed as a boy.
Yes.
The opposite, of
Right,
course.
She
yeah.
was
So
a-
she could become a journalist.
Yes, she was a journalist and she was trying to get the story.
And at the end of the movie,
Yes.
you got another
Bing.
Bing. Is
Yeah.
correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
And not cross-dressers, but somebody who was big, I think more probably in the early 90s, but coming out of the 80s. Steven Seagal did some quality action shit.
Steven Seagal did some quality
Yeah.
action shit.
Fucking
got
Hard to
fat.
Kill, fucking Above the Law.
Yep.
Well, you know, millions of dollars lead to cheeseburgers.
And Charlie Sheen.
yeah.
You know, he started getting it. You know, he made that movie. I don't know if it was late 90s, late 80s, early 90s, but it was Beyond the Law,
Yes.
Yeah.
where he infiltrated the motorcycle
Right.
gang out.
Undercover cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That based on a true story.
I think
Yeah.
that was early 90s.
I
Yeah.
think you might
Yeah.
be right,
But-
but yeah, it was.
But that was a
still-
great movie.
Right.
He
Yeah.
was in
But-
Platoon, was he not?
Yes, he
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Along with Willem Dafoe
Yeah.
and
He was
Charlie
also,
Sheen.
Tom
Charlie Sheen was in
Berenger.
that, no?
Tom Berenger. That's who I was thinking of.
But he was also
because he had that
also in Red Dawn.
right. He had that scar.
He did. Yeah.
Charlie Sheen. No, Emilio Estevez was in The Outsiders. His brother.
Right.
Yeah.
But Charlie Sheen was in Red Dawn.
Right.
Yes, he was.
He was Patrick Swayze's brother.
Yes.
Yes.
Maddie.
Tom Berenger, and I think we're going back to the 90s, but Sniper.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could go to the 90s because Gen X we kind of covered.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
We went into the 90s.
I
Absolutely.
mean, I graduated in '85, got married in '87.
We can go over what we want. We're still kicking ass in 2023, so whatever.
There you go.
Yeah.
You don't like it, eat a dick.
I got divorced in '93. I became a whore shortly after that for a few years. So yeah, we can cover the '90s too. Of course, that's when Blindside started, was in the 90s. So there you go.
There you go.
You know what, Matt? Too. There was a point in time over them years when I was searching for you, and I couldn't find you until Kim found you in like 30 fucking minutes. But there was a point where I was trying to find Blindside, right? And it was this other.
Yeah.
I don't want to use any kind of negatory terms, but
Christian rock
less
band.
less than masculine men
Yes.
that went under the name Blindside, and it was like, you fucking pussies.
Okay.
You know,
So I was
I was pissed.
Yeah, when I lived out in Phoenix, I got POD's first album. And
POD, I dig.
I
They're
was listening to the music and I was reading the liner notes because, well, as a child of Gen X, you know, that's what you did is you read the liner notes. And
Still do.
they thanked Blindside, and I'm like, whoa, they know us. And then I had to do the research on it whenever I got back to a computer.
30 minutes.
Yeah, I'm
later.
gonna go take a piss, make a
Yeah.
sandwich,
Yeah.
eat that fucker,
You got mail. You know,
rub
but,
one out, take a shower. There's my internet.
but you know, and it was weird because when Chris and He Who Shall Not Be Named first did the research on the name, there was only one other band in the world, and they were a Swedish band.
Right.
And
The difference was that they spelled it 2 words.
right,
It was Blind Side.
yes.
So we spelled it
One word.
Yep.
Yes.
Side.
Are you saying you want another shot, Jack?
No, I think I'm good. But I thank you.
I mean-
for offering.
I mean, you were messing around with your
He's not
shot
going,
glass
he's
there.
not going.
I was actually
I-
shoving it towards James so he could get another shot.
I will, and no disrespect to Jack, but gentlemen, I would be honored to do a shot with you here if you give me a moment to walk out to my freezer, because that's
Okay.
where I keep my Fireball
Well,
and American Honey, by the way.
Son of a bitch.
None of which who
Because-
sponsor you guys.
Yeah, because we've got a bottle of the Devil's Devil in the freezer.
The devil's devil.
Oh, brother, man, you don't know what you're missing.
Come on, November.
If you think Fireball is good, bro, I'm about to.
the Devil's Devil is Fireball with afterburners.
Oh,
All right, I just
boy.
want to. I just unlike the metal band, I don't want to do that till I'm blind. But
I mean,
fucking A, man.
we're gonna turn you on to Jesse James American Outlaw Honey,
Good.
Agavero
Oh,
Tequila,
good.
the Devil's
All right.
Devil,
We got to
Bring
have
some
something for the
Gatorade.
booze,
Bring
right?
some Gatorade for the morning.
Gatorade.
You got to
Bro,
rehydrate with electrolytes, man.
Hey,
What?
No,
Hey,
Pedialyte.
Pedialyte.
hey! I don't know if they got it over there, man. Matt, I don't know
Hey.
if you saw it when you were here last time, but BioLite it's called IV in a bottle,
Yeah.
and it's like $4 at Publix. I don't know where they sell
Hey.
them by you, but I mean, it's like Gatorade and Pedialyte had a baby, dude. This shit's awesome.
Bro, I get it,
Actually,
but
I like-
Dime
I like the-
swore
by
by
Pedialyte.
By
Pedialyte.
Pedialyte. That dude, actually, I think I heard Vinny mention it. I don't know if it was on the fucking home video or in an interview or something, but whenever that happened, I had up until, like I said, I keep BioLite and the Gatorade, and I actually do keep some Pedialyte around. I always keep something with electrolyte. But when he said that, man, I was hooked on that shit, and because it worked. It works.
You know, it's funny. I watched a Disturbed video years ago when their album went platinum.
Mm-hmm.
And they got presented with their platinum albums on stage,
Right.
and they brought them out shots. And Dave Draymond said, you know, when we started this band, I would never imbibe an alcohol before our show because I didn't. He said I used to never imbibe because of my religion, and then I didn't imbibe because of I wanted to put on my best performance,
Right.
keep my voice, blah blah blah. He said, but until we went out on tour with Pantera and I discovered the benefits of Pedialyte,
Hell yeah.
I like liquid
Well,
IV
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's
Nah.
just a little pouch and you dump it in a
Yep.
glass of water and stir it up and it's good.
You know, what other band in history would send an opening act packing if they wouldn't drink? Or send a guy on a Greyhound from their road crew if he couldn't hang.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dime kept the breathalyzer with him.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, yo, dude, blow into this. They'd blow. It's like, you ain't near fucking drunk enough yet and having a bottle of fucking Crown or something.
Yeah.
Boy.
Dime.
Hey, well,
Yeah.
my shot's ready. Are we toasting here?
Well, hang on.
No, hang on.
All right.
James is going to pour.
But you were saying about Dime.
Yeah.
But
Dime used to.
You know, you think, what a fucking prick. But for Jack, who don't know who Dime was, everybody says that Dime was one of the nicest individuals you ever wanted to meet in your life.
When I met him in New York, man, he came out, dude. There's a whole story. I think I've told it on the podcast before, but he came out and we were all like, holy shit, it's Dime. And he strolls out, dude. He's wearing jeans and no shirt, dude. And he's like, whoa, the fans. It was just that kind of whole thing, man. You just went up to him, hey, man, shook hands with you, signed your shit, fucking yada, yada, yada. Okay, hey, man, I'm going to move on so these other people can chat with you. Oh, okay, cool, brother. Thanks for hanging out. And it was fucking awesome. But, yeah, he's but you hear that no matter where you go, that he was fucking – and Vinny, too. Vinny was fantastic, too, man.
Well, Dime had a standing order at the clubhouse. Him and Vinny's strip club in Dallas.
Dallas, yeah.
And Dime's standing order was, if he saw you, you guys would drink. Mm-hmm. And if he drank you under the table, he's going to drive you back to his place, and you guys are going to continue to party.
Yep.
But if you drink Dime under the table, you're going to drive Dime back to his place, and you guys are going to continue to party.
Right.
I don't know if I'd have won that one. I definitely, not even in my fucking greatest moments.
So, all right.
The Marines taught us to drink pretty good, dude. But
let's raise it up.
hold on. Hang on. All
right. Salud.
Salud. All right. Jack, what's next on the list, brother?
Well, here's something interesting. I'll give you first shot at it, Dwight. What do you think are the 3 most common male names and 3 most common female names were in the Gen X generation?
Oh fuck, man. I'm really glad I opened my mouth on that one. Shit.
Nope, I don't think that was a name.
Fuck, man.
I don't think shit or fuck or damn. I don't think those were names, bro. That's like a millennial thing.
No, that was when they found out she was pregnant.
Shit.
Shit. 3 most. Shit, man.
Just give me one, Dwight.
Chris or Christopher. Female would have been Stephanie or Amy. We'll also go with Tiffany. I'll give you 2 more male names. Be Jeff and James.
Okay. I'm sorry to say,
None of them.
No. The 3 most common male names in Gen X is Chad,
Oh, God.
Todd, and Scott.
So
Okay.
that's why all the black comedians, like, when they're doing their white guy, they're like, Chad.
That's correct. Chad is sort of a
Yeah.
standard name.
Right.
On the female side of things,
Was there a Lisa?
no.
Really?
Naomi.
No. Any other guesses?
Sarah.
Jennifer.
Nope.
Middle name Sue. From the South.
First name, most common name was Tammy.
Okay.
Which my sister, who's also a Gen Xer,
Right.
that's
right.
her name.
Then there was several Tammys in and
That's
around
correct.
our age.
Well,
yeah.
we had a lot of Tammys in our school.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Well, you had the most famous Tammy.
Tammy Stitch? No, she
Tammy
didn't.
Faye Baker.
Hey,
with
Baker.
with her eyebrows.
she's a boomer. Okay.
I didn't say she was a Gen Xer. I just said she was a famous Tammy.
She is a famous Tammy.
Tammy Stitch was a famous boomer or Gen Xer. Sonny?
Okay.
WWE.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Sonny? Yep. Her name was Tammy Stitch.
The
She's
second
in
most
jail now,
common female name,
Uh-huh.
Tracy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Known a lot of Tracys.
Yep. And we got a neighbor down here who's a Gen Xer named Tracy. So, yep.
Matt had one on our wall. On his wall.
Yeah. Tracy Lords.
The third one is, I don't know a lot of women by this name, but Tanya.
Yeah.
You know a few?
I've known a few, yeah.
My sister-in-law is named is Tanya.
Yep.
Okay.
Which I mean, that is just completely weird because it's Tony and then Tanya. So let's
then
just add an A.
Then there's variants of Tanya. Like I had a cousin named Tana. You know,
Tanya.
Tanya. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
the whole generation.
That's for Gen X.
For Gen X.
Well,
Yeah.
I knew Dwight wasn't in there.
Oh no.
I'm surprised,
But
Matt,
that is a
Matt-
good name, Dwight. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no, there's three of us, dude, and I don't know the other two guys.
I bet James is probably in the top 10
Probably.
It's got-
Probably.
I mean, right?
because it always kind of makes the list
right.
every year.
I mean,
know.
I mean, come on.
I'm surprised David wasn't one of them. See,
Yeah.
there's a lot of Daves.
That was-
We know a lot of Davids from our
Oh yeah.
era.
Yeah.
I mean, my name means gift of the Jehovah. Come on.
Well, you know, I know a lot of douchebags too, but I didn't guess that one.
You didn't say that last week, sailor.
Oh, not on air, cutie.
So what else you got for us there, Jack?
Well, let's talk about music a little bit.
Alrighty.
Okay.
I think
All right.
we've known a little bit about music in the day.
You do, but
gonna-
this is
we're gonna-
probably less your genre than,
Yeah, possibly.
you know, but we'll see. In 1980,
Madonna.
what do you think were the was the top song? There's actually two of them.
In
that-
80?
In 1980.
Fuck.
And this will be according to like radio and shit, right?
Yeah, this is what you would have heard on America's Top 40.
That was, I want to say that was pre-Michael Jackson. No.
Well, he started with Jackson 5 in the 70s.
Right, but I'm thinking Michael Jackson.
Well, Off the
solo.
Wall came out in late 70s.
It did, yeah.
And Thriller didn't come out until like 84.
84, somewhere
Yeah,
in there.
83, 84.
Okay.
Well, we were talking top song, top three in 1980.
In 1980, what was it? There's actually two songs that held number one spot for the same amount of time. They're both there for 6 weeks.
I want to say one of them was Dire Straits.
That's a good guess. It'd be
Something
wrong,
by
but
Phil
that's
Collins?
a good guess.
Yeah.
No,
Anything but Phil Collins?
no, actually, it was a tie. They both held number one for 6 weeks. First one was Call Me by Blondie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mm.
And the
Yeah.
second one is not one that I particularly listen to much, but it was there for 6 weeks. Lady by Kenny Rogers.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I
That
had
makes
a
sense,
feeling
yeah.
it was going to be a 70s country tune because the
Well,
late.
see, I would have thought of Blondie because I think of Blondie as the 70s.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah.
But they
Call
had a lot of
Me,
hits in the 80s.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
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 And
I
you
was
know,
sheltered for a minute too, so I didn't
Yeah.
get into music for a while there. So.
there was that time period where people were rebelling against disco and punk hadn't really started taking over the country, but everybody started turning towards country. Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton made that resurgence.
Right.
Yeah,
And
Island in the Stream.
yeah, I mean they were it was rumored that they were a couple for the longest time.
Yeah. Of course, everybody thinks, well, you're a metalhead, so you don't know nothing about any other music. But, I mean, there's a lot of great music in the 80s, like Madonna, the Rhythmics,
The king of pop himself.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't deny. I
No.
mean, no.
Look at Bon Jovi. I mean, that's
yeah.
getting into
Yeah.
your genre, and
Right.
they were number
Well,
one.
They were kind of the hair metal.
Right.
7,800
Big hair, yeah.
7,800 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
That was an awesome rocking
Yeah.
fucking album.
But people around here, and I had that tape.
Yeah.
we karaoke Bon Jovi, didn't we, guys?
Yeah.
But it's like,
Oh, we're
I had that
Yeah,
tape,
anyways.
7,800 degrees Fahrenheit, and whatever Slippery When Wet came out. Of course, I bought it as soon as it came out.
Oh, yeah.
And then I almost had to take that tape out of my car. Because remember that little cassette rack I had in the front of the shifter
do.
in my car? And I
Yeah.
had Bon Jovi in there. Everybody got in the car. Oh, you got Bon Jovi, play Bon Jovi. And I'm like, fuck, I got to take this out because I'm getting sick of it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
See, and okay,
You know?
I was a late bloomer, but on a line of cassette tapes. I was in New York in 1992, and my friend that I was with, she had Screaming Interventions and Turbo on
Uh-huh.
cassette
Yep.
in the car, dude, and
Yep.
it was like, I'm
In
gonna
fact,
fucking go buy some other albums by these motherfuckers.
In fact, at one time, I think that little holder, it was like a little cassette rack, but I'd made it to fit underneath the radio. And I think it held 4 or 5 cassettes.
Something like that, yeah.
But I think at one time, that was Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil,
Rat out of the cellar.
Rat in the Cellar, and Cinderella.
Night songs.
Night songs.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, and Matt, when you came down here and we traded all that music in 21,
Yeah.
and you gave me the whole Cinderella catalog, man, I'm so glad you did, because I think I got the poster in my room for the exact date. I think the next year they did Sonic Slam, and it was the Tom Kiefer Band,
Yeah.
Faster Pussycat, and L.A. Guns, and
Oh, that would have been great.
in fact, Faster Pussycat, I enjoyed L.A. Guns. Faster Pussycat really fucking impressed me. But when Tom Kiefer did like 3 or 4 Tom Kiefer songs, and the rest was Cinderella, and it was such a great show, and I had all the reference material to go ahead and refresh myself. You know,
Another tape I had in there was Fastway.
Oh, yes.
You know, it was
Hey.
just a self-titled Fastway with Say
Yep.
What You Will
Yep.
on it, and
I wore out fucking Appetite for Destruction in 1987 on cassette. I'd mow in the lawn. I'd burn one, dude, and fucking go get the lawnmower out, dude, and fucking put the fucking Walkman on, dude, and just fucking
I remember
tear it up.
when I got Appetite for Destruction. Of course, that was a little bit of an off-take from Bon Jovi, Cinderella, and everything. And John McClendon was riding with me one day. He goes, "What's this here?" And I said, "Guns N' Roses, man, they're fucking badass." And I popped it in and played like 2 songs. He's like, "I don't care for that."
Now, I had
Put in Wanted Dead or Alive, man.
Yeah.
You know?
I had a buddy of mine in Illinois, because I lived up in Illinois when Appetite came out. And he got one of the first vinyls. And it had the original cover that Robert Williams painting that's on the back cover of the CD.
You saw that in the man cave too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had the actual record.
Yeah.
And it was just like, that's fucking, I mean, and it was just like, because I've seen the interview with Robert Williams, and he's like, that was painted 10 years before there ever was a Guns N' Roses. And
Well, mine's a replica, but you never know it. But yeah, it's like whatever. It's the imagery that counts.
well, and I think when Guns N' Roses came out in 87, when Appetite came out in 87, it really changed hair bands. Because
these guys look like they needed a shower.
oh yeah, I mean they were like they were the
That was the dirty, nasty.
yeah, they were the
rock.
sleazy Hollywood Boulevard fucking
Right.
rock and roll.
When Motley came out, they were considered, their music was considered that sleazy LA sound.
Yeah.
Which LA Guns.
But then they got glam with all the makeup and everything.
Well, they done that,
Yeah.
but their sound was
Right.
sleazy. But where GNR, they had the sleazy look.
Right. And then
You know,
and then you
their
had
music
Faster
was-
Pussycat.
Right.
And
Yeah,
then you had
we-
LA Guns.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you had these sleaze sleazy
GNR was
bands.
they were definitely like, we're giving your daughter fucking crabs, dude. And you can pay for it.
At the least.
Yeah. And their look, and Ozzy has talked about this, when Appetite came out and, Welcome to the Jungle video, and Ozzy had ran into the guys from Guns N' Roses, and he's like, do you guys fucking know what you have just fucking done? You have just changed everything. Because Slash had the hair with the top hat, Izzy had like the little golfer type hat. That Welcome to the Jungle video, Axl had his hair all teased up.
Right.
And, and it was just like straight sleaze. I mean, these guys look.
I had a bootleg company. They're out of business now, but I bought the DVD, and it actually might have some edits to it, which I hate that shit. But it's and it aired on MTV. Definitely censored at the time, but it was Guns N' Roses at the Ritz,
Yes.
It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's whatever format or whatever version, man, you can truly just sit there and enjoy that shit, man. It was such a great
Oh yeah.
such a great show to just never be there for, but to relive whenever I want to,
Right.
You know, you talk about watching great shows. The other night, I was bored, and I'm sitting there, and I'm hot from work, and I'm going through TV, and I'm looking. It's like YouTube, and I'm flipping down through there. Van Halen full concert. I'm like, what's this? And I clicked on it, and it was from the 5150 tour. The first year was Sammy.
Is it the one with Jon Stewart where he does the intro?
I don't remember anybody introing it. I think they just it just started with them playing. But god damn, they put on a fucking show.
Yeah.
I mean, they were running all over the place. Of course, there could have been some cocaine involved. But
Maybe.
But it was. I mean, I'm sitting there watching that, going, Jesus Christ, these guys are just tearing it up. You know,
There's one from.
At the end of it, Sammy's up on the fucking scaffolding above the stage, hanging off of it on, was it not Panama? It was like, I've been to the edge. And then I stood and looked down. And he's up on this fucking catwalk, hanging off, looking down over the freaking crowd. And I'm like, damn. You know?
Yeah.
And he had no wires on.
There's one from that I believe probably that tour, but yeah, you can find on YouTube where Jon Stewart comes out and he does the intro, and then Sam they come out, and then a couple songs into it, Sammy's like, yeah, Jon Stewart's like, yeah, man, we're shooting for MTV, so you can't say fuck. He's like, well, fuck. You can't tell. I'm a grown man. You can't tell me what to say. And it was like, oh shit, the bed, man. He just went off, dude.
Well, and James was telling me last night that they started with a Sammy song, a Sammy Hagar song.
Yeah, they started the show with Only One Way to Rock.
Yeah.
With,
He opened the last time I saw them a couple of years ago. They Sammy Hagar and the Circle. They opened with One Way to Rock, and it was like, wow, what are you doing? And Vic Johnson and Jason Bonham and Michael Anthony, but man, Vic Johnson, dude, that motherfucker can. They played Montrose, they played Van Halen, they played Sammy Hagar, they played. I mean, it was phenomenally like just one of the greatest rock and roll shows I've ever been to in my life, and I've been to a lot of fucking shows.
Well, and if you think about it, Sammy Hagar is a great guitar player. And then he joins Van Halen, and he's got King Eddie. Okay? Then he forms Chickenfoot, and he's got fucking Joe Satriani.
right.
I mean,
They're good albums, but they were never fucking great, though, I don't think.
yeah.
Right.
But in the line of working with great people, I get what you're saying.
You know, David Lee Roth, Eddie Van Halen, and then I'm gonna start my new band. Hey, Steve Vai, you want to come and play?
Right.
Yeah. No doubt.
Meanwhile,
No doubt.
Van Halen gets Gary Sharon.
Yeah.
That album. I wiped my ass with that album.
So, what else?
Jack, what else you got?
Okay. In 1980,
Great minds, James.
in 1981, at 10 weeks at number one, was Physical by Olivia Newton-John. Which she had a number of hits.
Yeah.
That was just...
Nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely not. In 1982, and I remember when this came out, I Love Rock and Roll, Joan Jett, the Black Hearts.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And tied with that at 7 weeks at number one, Ebony and Ivory by Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. 1983. And I think this is what really kicked off this band was Every Breath You Take by the Police. That's when they really took off.
Yeah.
1984, and this goes back to what you said earlier, Dwight, Like a Virgin by Madonna. Yep. And she was there for 6 weeks. In 85, year we graduated high school, We Are the World by USA for Africa.
Yeah.
And Say You, Say Me by Lionel Richie. They both were at number one for 4 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kind of poor on our graduating.
Yeah, you know, our class. Go ahead.
No, all I can hear is fuck. Yeah, when you talk, and then not in comparison to you or anything like that, when you talk about this historical stuff, I just keep hearing Casey Kasem in the back of my head.
Yeah. And it,
4 weeks at number one.
exactly. Well, these were Billboard hits. He was definitely reading the same stuff. I would have thought James.
And our call in this week was from
our long distance dedication.
long distance dedication. That's what it was.
And 17 weeks at number one on this day in 1975.
Hello, welcome to America's Top 40. This is Casey.
There you go.
Okay.
Jack Scott and everybody else, shut the
Now
fuck
you gotta
up.
read the rest of that just like that.
In 1986, Walk Like an Egyptian, the Bengals.
Oh,
Tied with
Susanna
that.
Hoffs.
Oh,
Yes, I know. Beautiful girl.
jeez.
Now,
Nice.
tied with that, and this song, That's What Friends Are For by Dionne Warwick. They were both tied at 4 weeks. Now, 1987, you guys will love this one. Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi.
whoa.
I'm waiting for you to mention Bananarama.
Actually, they did not make the list, Dwight.
That's fucked up, man.
It is.
No.
What about Chumbawamba?
Hang on. What's
I'm
fucked up?
dumping.
What's fucked up is, what was that? 1987.
That was 87.
1987, and not a single mention of the fucking king of pop.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oddly enough, although he, excuse me, he made it in the 80s. He made it to one of the top performers.
Right.
Because he had so many hits.
Mm-hmm.
But these are the biggest hits as far as longest at number one for a given year.
Right.
So,
Well, here I go again with Tawny Katane there involved in the video that I think changed all of our lives. I know, at least me and Mac, and if I may speak for you, brother.
Here I go again.
That was
my own.
1987.
Yeah.
The White Snake,
Oh, David Coverdale. You're a
Hell yeah.
motherfucker.
the Jaguar. Oh,
also in 87, tied with Living on a Prayer, was Faith by George Michael.
okay. Yeah, that was a good song.
Liked it better by Limp Bizkit.
Limp
Yeah.
Bizkit.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
In 1988, Steve Winwood with Roll With It was at 4 weeks number one.
Okay.
Roll with it, baby.
That's it. And 1989, not one of my favorite performers, Miss You Much by Janet Jackson at 4 weeks.
Black Cat was better
Yeah, I was gonna say that would have been my top.
because it had a fucking
Jackson
guitar in it.
song.
These wouldn't have made my top 10.
Well,
quite
I mean,
frankly, but
For Janet Jackson,
Who was the
Nasty.
guitarist on Black Cat. He was a metal guitarist. Fuck, I remember when it came out, and I heard who was playing the lead on it, and I'm like, holy shit. I mean, he wasn't in the video with her.
Yeah. Now, I know Eddie Van Halen played the solo in Beat It.
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time, he wouldn't take credit for it.
Right. Because he didn't, outside of Van Halen, you didn't hear anything
No.
from Eddie Van Halen. He didn't
No.
set sessions with
right.
Nobody
anybody,
did.
Yeah.
Nobody in Van Halen guested on anything. And, well, to the Google machine, shall we?
Mm.
Shall we?
What does Google have to say?
Jack, I tell you, man, Matt he's a fucking fun fact fucking guy, man. But I'm telling you what, man, you're pulling it off tonight, brother.
Well, to be fair, and I got to be fair about this, I do have notes in front of me. So,
Dave Barry.
Dave Barry.
Yeah.
Played the lead on Black Cat.
In the album version of Black Cat, the majority of the guitar riffs are played by David Barry, including the introduction main riff as well as the thematic solo. Barry subsequently became Jackson's touring guitarist and tour director.
That wasn't who I was thinking of.
Okay, hang on.
I thought it was.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay.
Dave Barry
There's,
played.
there's nothing wrong with notes, man. These things go on and go down rabbit holes and shit. You kind of have to have notes.
You do. Just keep yourself straight. I get it.
I know.
Pull us back into reality here. So what else you got there, Jack?
Well, what I have now are some little facts, some little things, kind of interesting. What are some other terms for Gen Xers?
Greatest
My son-
fucking
my
generation period. Oh,
Good try.
My
but,
my 19-year-old son likes Boomer, but I don't think that applies.
but we're not boomers.
No,
See,
we're
that's
not.
the thing. Although we get called boomers.
If he wasn't at work, right now, I'd put him on the fucking phone, dude.
The arcade generation, maybe.
Be seen and not heard.
That, you're on the
Latchkey kids.
latchkey generation. And,
Oh, nice.
and the
call.
forgotten generation, because actually the media shows more attention to the
Millennials
and the boomers.
and the boomers. Yeah.
Right.
So we
right.
are the forgotten generation.
There's a female comedian who's a Gen Xer, and she's got a whole bit about that. She talks about the greatest generation, the baby boomers, the millennials, Gen Z, and she goes, "Oh, you thought I forgot about you, huh? No. Here's what we fucking did." And she's got a whole bit about it. It's funny as shit. I seen it on a YouTube clip on
Yeah.
one of the Reels deals, you know. It's
Now
funny as hell.
there's a lady on TikTok that I started following because it just some shit came up, and her handle is the Real Slim Sherry, and she talks all about Gen X
Right.
and about
It's maybe the
us.
same
Is
person.
is Sherry with an I or a Y?
Why or an I?
Okay.
I don't know. I follow her.
It's a vowel.
But
you should know.
yeah.
Well, sometimes it is.
Sometimes. But she talks about like us fixing our own breakfast, our own dinners, being home alone, and I mean there was just so much
The
shit.
movie, Home Alone.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Ah! I'm sorry. That was kind of loud. My bad. But I mean, she just goes off, and then a guy that Dwight just sent me YouTube, the vet dad bod, and this guy's got like he's got that deep British sort of accent, and
When I first saw it, I
Yeah.
just thought it was you first. I'm like, oh, he's on YouTube now. I'm like, wait, that's not him. And I clicked on it anyway.
yeah, but this guy he talks another Gen Xer and reacting to people saying all this stupid shit about Gen X, and he's like, whoa, hold up there, guy. Let me tell you about Gen X. And it's just like, I'm listening to it, and it's like, yeah, okay, yep. Fuck this guy over here. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, you fucking Gen Z.
You know,
Look, hey man, we're like our kids, man. I tell mine all the time, like all the cool shit you get to do. Yeah, we kind of invented that. And if we didn't invent it, we ripped it off from the fucking people before us.
exactly.
Fuck off. You still, either way, you didn't write it. Okay, eat a dick.
Right.
The one thing I got to say, I think where our generation fucked up, and I'm not talking about anybody in this room or on this phone line.
Thank you.
I think we were the first generation not to discipline our kids the way we were disciplined.
I think you're right, and that's the reason
It was
we're having problems today.
Instead of saying, like my dad said,
He just said it, dude.
my dad said,
We
you were
stopped
going to
whooping
fucking
ass.
do this, and you didn't have a fucking choice. Now they're like, now, Chad, don't do that, Chad. He's like, fuck you, Mom. You're like, now, Chad,
That's
don't
not
use
nice.
That, don't use that kind
Shit.
of language.
Do you need a
Should I-
timeout?
I think our generation was the first generation to start doing that shit, and it's progressively got fucking worse.
It
Well,
has.
I pulled
You know,
one the
I'm
other
not-
night.
Like I say, I'm not speaking for anybody in this room or on the phone line, because
But I understand what you're saying. I do.
as a generation, it got
Yeah.
to be, oh, I want to be their friend. Well, fuck that. You're their parent.
Right.
That's right. You're not their friend.
Right.
All right, Dwight, as you were.
I think. Yeah, thank you. I think you're right, and all due respect, gentlemen, glad to hear your opinions on it. But yeah, I'm pretty fucking easygoing, Matt. You've witnessed it. But there was one night, man, I was just, you catch me in a fucking mood, man. No matter who you are on this planet, man, that might be a bad day for you. But I got caught in the mood one night, man, and I texted him at work, and I said, dude, if these dishes aren't done by the time I wake up in the morning, I said, I'm taking your fucking car. And he texted me back. He's like, I'm already having a bad night. And I didn't text him back. I'm like, I don't know how, like, I can tell you I don't give a fuck, but I think not telling you that I don't give a fuck is a much stronger message. Guess what? I got up in the morning. Those dishes were done.
My mom asked me one time, she's like, do you need a timeout? And what she meant by that is, do I need to bust your ass with this paddle and send you to your fucking room?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no sitting down and being quiet. No, shut the fuck up or I'm going to give you something to cry about. You just whipped my ass with a fucking belt. I
See,
fucking
now,
hate you.
my wife kind of treats me like that too, because God bless her, man. I love her more than anything
Your
else.
wife
but,
uses a paddle on you?
that's not none of your business, man. I don't have to pay extra for it anymore. But no, but if there's a dispute or something, man, and she don't get it all out the night before, man, and because she always gets up earlier than I do for work, so yeah, I'll get woke up to a fucking 20-minute conversation that completely fucking butt fucks my morning, dude, about why she's unhappy.
Okay, so
then we go from there. But
I got to tell these two gentlemen about something that I found out while I was in Florida that I didn't mention on the On Location podcast. Not talking about Dwight's favorite
humidity
spaghetti.
is a whore.
We're not going to talk about
Oh,
Dwight's
it's
favorite
yours.
spaghetti and meatballs. But
You fucking
him and Kim
do this.
have a rule.
Oh, yeah. No, I
If-
meant don't do this about the fucking chef, dude.
Oh,
but
no,
no, the rule.
no.
So we rewrote this years ago, and I'll give you some background if you need it. But go ahead, please, by all means. I'm gonna write a fucking book and be rich on this shit one day.
They give each other 2 hours. So let's say, James, you and Ann, you fuck up, okay? And Ann is pissed. She has 2 hours to get it out of her system, and then that's it. It's never
And you can
brought up
berate a
again.
Yeah, for 120 minutes, you get to berate a motherfucker, dude.
And
like with-
Ann fucks up, you got 2 hours, and if they fall asleep, as soon as they wake up, that time starts again.
So if they fell asleep 30 minutes later, then you got another hour and a half.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but my wife will always fucking autocorrect to 20 minutes. So she's got an hour and 40. She's an efficient girl.
But I'm telling you.
Our kind of rule of thumb is
Excuse me.
we don't go to bed mad.
That's a good rule.
We
No,
we try to figure it out, and we've had some fights. Don't get me wrong. We've been married over 25 years, but normally every fight that we've ever had has been I misunderstood something or she misunderstood something, and once we finally yell it all out, it's like, hey,
What are we fighting about?
this is okay. I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Where you were coming from. You understand where I was coming from because I was interpreted this way. Yes, okay. Well, let's go have sex.
Yeah. So
and we try to do that, James. I'm totally with you, man. But there's
You
some
try to
nights
have
where-
sex
where
with
it's
James?
late. That's none of your business. Listen, no, yeah, there's some nights
on
when
the down low here.
yeah.
what do you think
call
the
you-
D in Dwight means?
All right.
It's your vitamins, bitch.
The sun is
no,
so much better.
Oh, you haven't had me yet. But you don't.
That's what she said.
That's what a lot of girls say because I'm married to one woman. Love you, honey, because you'll listen to this later. But oh, fuck your crickets, dick.
I'm going
No,
happy
we-
tonight.
If all in all seriousness, we try not to do that. But there are
Yeah.
some nights when it's just like you just pass the fuck out. But
Mhm.
no, and that's a very good rule. I totally endorse that, man. Don't get bad angry. It's number one, And we've never, we've never slept in separate places or anything like that. It's never been that bad. But at some point you just got to let that out. But early in our relationship, she said something about something. I said, listen, I'm not doing this. We're not a stereotypical relationship, and I'm not doing the stereotypical thing where you get to bring up some shit that I did 3 months ago. I said, so this is a 2 fucking hour rule. And we do, man. We fucking, dude, we'll rip on each other for fucking, you just sit there and you're just looking at the clock going, come on, 120 minutes. You go, oh, fuck, it's 139. Oh, shit, it's only 142. Fuck, man, it's like, fuck, man, I can fucking take this shit. And you just get to fucking break dick until until it's done, man, and it works. It started out kind of as a joke, sort of, but no, it's a fucking great rule, and anybody that finds it successful, any of the tens of listeners, you know, I'd like a percentage. You know, so I'm just
well, I
saying.
mean-
I tell you what, the worst thing is when you wake up and they're quiet and they're not talking to you, and you're like,
Oh yeah, silence is deadly, dude.
What did I do?
you're like, what did I do?
Yeah.
And you finally are like, what's the matter?
Because you know you were drunk tonight, but
I had a dream.
Oh yes, been there. Been there.
oh,
Not
oh,
with Flora,
oh.
but I've been there.
You're like,
oh,
I had a dream.
oh, let me.
Really?
Let,
What was your dream? Well, you
Let-
fuck so and so. And I'm like, going,
It was
No.
a dream.
I wouldn't. And I woke up in the morning, I had a dream, and I'm like, look over at her, I'm going, oh yeah, that's a
hey,
fucking
just
dream.
speaking of that, right, hold on, guys.
Yeah.
You there?
It's the
They're
IRS
talk,
calling.
we're talking about fuck off. We're talking about the 2 hour rule. They're endorsing it, our 2 hour rule, and then they're talking about. James was just talking about dreams. Yeah, she's smiling. You guys can't. I wish you could see it. Yeah, I woke up one morning, man. She's like, I had this dream that you were banging my sister. And I'm like, well, I was here all night, and she's in Texas, so that would have been a neat trick.
It didn't happen.
But do you think she'd be interested? No.
Do I have to pay extra for that?
Yeah.
Okay, this podcast sucks. Don't ever listen to it, honey. Love you. It's the most boring thing ever.
Love you,
She's
Kim.
granted. Yeah, dude, she woke up. She was like, I'm mad at you. And I'm like, and then, because you know you were drunk the night before, and you're like, fuck, I know there's a couple of missing pieces, and you're trying to put that shit together and shit. And like, I know I didn't fucking do no fuck. I didn't hit you. I didn't cheat on you. I didn't fucking.
I didn't try to put
I
it in
didn't
your
do
butt.
You, whoop, can't rape the willing. I didn't.
Oh, right,
I didn't
that's
do no,
right. You got to pay extra for that one, don't you?
Married to an Asian. Fuck off. No, but yeah, you're playing it back. You're like, what the fuck, dude? And she's like, you were fucking the secretary from work, or you were fucking my sister. Yeah, it was a secretary from work one time, and then it was, and I'm like, I guess she's okay, but I would like violate our marriage for that. I mean, And then she's like, the one morning, she's like, I'm so mad at you, and then you're with my sister, all this stuff. I'm like,
Of course,
I can't wait to have.
As the Sioux Indians would say, dreams are premonitions.
I just tell her now, thanks to the shower curtain. Now, thanks to the shower curtains, I'm like, you were playing with yourself in there, so fuck you, cheater. Fucking whore. You were fucking a trainee.
And when the 2 hours started. What do you call her that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when the 2 hours started.
Now, I mean, and the
Yeah,
thing,
yeah, no, man, I made note of that motherfucker. Like I said, 139. Okay, good.
Yeah.
3:30. Because I'll look at it. I know when I fucked up, dude. I'll look at it, whatever time it was, dude. I'll go, okay, 2:15. And she just laughs because she knows. She knows. She doesn't even look at the clock, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and this 2 hour rule impressed my daughter to where her and her boyfriend were like, huh. Because they'd been together for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it was just like, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I was with my ex and we lived in Tennessee, waking up and she wasn't talking because she was still asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was leaving the
Well,
house
I'm
at
talking
like,
about when you both woke up and you're
right.
Yeah.
Now, if I woke up and she was awake,
Oh shit.
that's when I knew some shit was fucked up. And it's like, fuck.
Here we go.
What's wrong, babe? Nothing.
Oh, that's the worst answer.
Yep.
Or everything's fine.
Are you going to tell me now, or am I going to have to read a paragraph text when I get
Right.
done with PT?
Because it's all about the tone, man. It's never nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and then the whole
Are you okay? I'm fine.
Of
just-
course you
Fucked
are.
up, insecure, neurotic, and egocentric.
just do whatever you want.
Fuck you very much.
I guess I'm going to sit here on the couch with you, babe.
I guess I'm gonna kill myself now.
But I can say this. regardless
You-
of how
you're
it
cutting your
ended,
Mhm.
Tuesday nights were our nights for me to run down to Dairy Queen. I would get a peanut butter parfait. She would get a banana split, and her daughter would get hot fudge sundae. And then we would sit in front of the TV and watch The Biggest Loser
That's a better plan.
while eating ice cream.
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
I'm cutting my forearm open trying to get the cyanide fill out of under my skin, dude.
So did you actually run down to get a peanut butter parfait, or did you drive down?
No, I drove down.
Oh, okay.
It was around the corner.
You said you ran down. So.
Right.
Wow.
Well, the
Thank-
next
Thank you, James.
Run down and burn off the calories at the peanut butter.
Tomato.
Can you see him? Can you see him? The fucking hair flying in the wind, dude.
Yeah.
Just hauling the balls, dude.
Well, I was in the Army at that time, so the next day I was running all those calories off,
What was?
or running to the tree line and losing a sock because I'm slightly lactose intolerant, and
not that special sock, is it?
no, showing back up to formation. Hey, Sergeant, where the fuck's your sock? Back in the tree line, Sergeant Major. What the fuck's he doing back there? And then my platoon sergeant comes up and is like, Sergeant Major, he's lactose intolerant. He had ice cream last night. Just kind of went through. Oh. It's like, yeah.
Speaking of running, another classic '80s movie. Chariots of Fire. What the fuck are you doing?
Ice maker, dude.
Oh.
Don't you have those in fucking hillbilly fucking Missouri?
Oh, wait a second. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fucked up. I'm sorry, James.
Matthew Modine. Vision Quest.
Yes.
Mm.
I want to wrestle shoot. Shoot? No one wants
Oh,
to wrestle
hey.
shoot.
Hey, Kevin Costner,
Oh, I know
Ray Don Chong, American Flyer.
Oh, my God.
Huh?
Oh, my God.
Did I get kudos from your other fucking guest there, dude?
Mm-hmm.
How about Soul Man with C. Thomas Howell and Ray Don Chong?
Yep.
The bicycle movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh, Rad.
No.
No.
That was an
These
awesome
were-
movie, by
These
the way.
they were like Tour de France type.
Oh,
It was
Wasn't
a
that
good
American?
movie. Oh.
Gleaming the
Other
Cube,
than the one I just said?
Star 80.
The Last Starfighter.
With Star 80 with,
Yes.
with Mary Lou Henner,
Oh, yeah.
where she was played a playmate.
Oh. You
God
have
damn
my
it, what was-
attention.
Stratton, Dorothy Stratton,
Dorothy Stratton.
whose old man was her agent and shit, and then ended up fucking killing her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
The Last Starfighter.
Yes.
Rad, Gleaming the Cube,
Tron.
Oh my God.
That's a big one. Jeff
Yeah.
Bridges.
Yes.
And I mean that changed computer animation.
Look at War Games.
War Games.
Oh my
yes.
God,
That
Matthew
was
Yeah.
sort of the
Good
first
one.
hacking movie.
Right.
Matthew Broderick and Ali Sheedy.
Yeah.
Back when it was fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Short
Yeah,
Circuit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Short Circuit.
Johnny Five. Yeah.
Johnny Five is alive.
John Five is a great guitarist.
John Five is a tremendous guitarist.
Yeah.
He's bored with that Motley shit, though. Unfortunately.
He's just so fucking good that he's bored with anything unless it's his creatures
Yeah.
stuff.
But he always, anytime I've seen him with Rob Zombie, though, man, he's alive. You know.
Because he's able to run around. On the
Yeah.
on the Motley stage, Mick didn't move.
Right.
And Nikki was the one that was always running around.
I'll tell you what, though, man,
Is he
Nick-
painting his face and wearing a costume with Motley? He's
Nope. Nope.
Now, Nikki Sixx said they want to tour into the 2030s and shit, and it's like, you know what? Like, I missed them a couple times over the years, and you'd be amazed at the stupidity of one of the stories. It was about laundry, but in 2020, when they were doing a tour with Def Leppard, and then COVID shut everything down, I would have actually went and seen them. But a couple of years later, and you watch videos and shit, and it's like,
Whoa.
he's just so shot, dude.
Yeah.
Vince Neil is so fucking shot.
He's the
I see them.
chicken wing. Chicken wing. Oh wait, wrong song.
What the fuck is going on, man?
I seen them.
Oh.
Vince Neil.
I seen them back in the late '90s. It was whenever Tommy went to jail for
Yeah,
a little while for beating Pam up,
allegedly. Yeah,
and
She asked for it.
They had a female drummer,
yeah,
and Vince Neil couldn't sing then.
yeah.
It was like, started this band, now we needed.
I mean, if you watch the end,
And then he just let the audience sing most of the lyrics. He just hold the microphone. You know, it's like, come
if you
on,
watch
Vince, do some cardio. What the fuck?
yeah, the end DVD, man. It was like, okay, you guys should have just fucking called it a day, man. You know what I mean? But you didn't, and like, you know, you look at guys like Halford and Hetfield and guys like that, and they're like, and even Halford was like, I wouldn't have wrote some of that shit the way I did if I knew this, that I'd be here 50 fucking years later. But they're still in a good fashion, albeit altered. But they're pulling it off. So Sammy Hagar's fucking amazing. The guy's like
75 years old and he's still fucking singing like he did.
And I got people 55, dude, 55, 45, dude, younger than me, dude, in the fucking nursing homes and shit. I'm like.
The fact,
Sammy Hagar partied pretty hard. What's your problem?
the fact that Bruce Dickinson is still touring with Maiden, and he's still pulling off those vocals.
And he flies the plane.
Yes.
He's a commercial airline pilot.
Wow.
Ed Force One.
They got their own fucking
747 stage. Everything goes into that plane, and he'll fly. I think the last tour was the last they like retired Ed Force One. But I mean, the fact that he's still able to hit those notes, he's still able to hold those notes while he's running all over that big ass Iron Maiden fucking stage.
Well, that's like when we seen Styx a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what that fucking keyboard player's on, but I need some.
This
guy's in his fucking 70s and he's running around like he's 20 fucking years old and his keyboard spins on the pump and he's playing and spinning it and running over here and running over there. And I'm like going,
so it's this stuff.
What kind of test are you on, or human growth, or what the fuck? You know?
Tom Kiefer. Tom Kiefer's had like 7 throat surgeries, dude. That motherfucker. If you guys ain't seen him lately, please take my word for it. He's pulling it the fuck off.
He had to spend, like, after the first or second surgery, he spent a year without speaking. Because they said
we were talking about that.
Yeah, he didn't speak for a whole year. And you know,
if he was Italian, he might have been just having to sit on his hands.
Yeah. Bobbity boopy.
We can't talk without him.
Boopity boppy.
Bippity boppy. Hey.
Do you know how to keep an Italian quiet?
Tie his hands
Put his
behind
hands in
his
his pockets.
Handcuff him behind his back.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. I didn't see nothing. But I mean, you know,
I don't know nothing about it. All right, let it go.
Rob Halford has told Chris Jericho on Talk Is Jericho, his podcast, that when they write out the set list, they look at what songs they're getting ready to do, and they set it at, like, Screaming for Vengeance.
Right.
It's set at a certain time in...
So he don't blow his voice up before it's over with.
Right.
Right.
And they're not putting it at the end where he has been singing all that. So it's like right in the middle and like Painkiller and everything.
You know what? For a band that's been around for 50 fucking years, dude, that's more than fair, dude. You get these fucking pop stars and shit, and they're lip syncing, and there's no way you can pull off all that choreography.
Yeah, you're 25 years old and you can't play the Super Bowl without doing it to a track.
Yeah, and I just have no respect for that. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but if you can't fucking do it live, dude, and you know what, the little mistakes and the little alterations or whatever, man, or like, you know, even you hear you cannot listen to Master of Puppets in the last probably 10 years without the crowd singing the one or two of the choruses, and that's great because guess what, dude, you've been doing it for 40 fucking years, man. or whatever, or 35 years, however old that album is,
Look,
86.
I mean,
but
if Britney Spears
it's
has to
still
breathe
it's still
heavy,
real.
that's okay.
yeah. Look,
Well, that's only if I'm on. Never mind.
here's the deal. No Super Bowl halftime show will be as good as when it started pouring fucking rain during Purple Rain
By
with
Prince.
Prince.
Yep.
And that motherfucker was playing that guitar, pouring rain, switching guitars. 6-inch stiletto fucking heels, and he's all over the place. And his two backup dancers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were shaking it like they were shaking them moneymakers, and they were all over the place. And that stage was fucking slick, wet.
I don't
and
know.
What?
I gotta go with Timberlake going. Hey, here's Janet Jackson's hit world.
Bro.
Sorry, got a favorite. Sorry, fuck me.
Been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
I was telling
You're welcome,
Matt,
3D.
I was telling Matt I watched Metallica when 72 Seasons came out, and they were on Jimmy Kimmel for a week, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I watched every episode of that. And I'm going, and they played Master of Puppets in its entirety. And of course, they had him on. They were interviewing him. It's like, you're going to play Master of Puppets in entirety tonight. He's like, yep. He's like, we may
8 minutes and 38 seconds.
So we may have to preclude Nightline tonight, to get this on there. But I'm sitting there watching that, and I told the wife, I'm like, it's real simple. You have Metallica. They play Master of Puppets. They play Enter Sandman. And they play, what's the new song that you like?
Lux Eterna?
Yeah.
Lux Eterna. There's your Super Bowl show right there.
Yeah.
Three
Well, that's the
songs.
thing, man.
Three
All the
songs, that's the Super Bowl break. I mean, it'd be perfect.
Well, that's the whole thing. Man, the NFL, the MLB, everybody fucking wants to use rock and roll shit for years and decades and all this other shit. But when it comes to, like, let's entertain the crowd, let's get some
Well, now I'll
bullshit fucking thing,
But
you know.
what was cool during the Super Bowl, and we seen, was it Rihanna was on there this year or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. She's a pig.
The Daytona 500, their commercial for the Daytona 500, the music was Lux Eterna.
Right.
I'm like, well, they figured it out.
Now, I'll say this about Major League Baseball. At least they get
James and Kurt to play at the
Giants.
At the Giants.
Yes.
Yeah.
They play the
And-
national
Yeah,
anthem.
give them that. Give them that.
know,
Give them that. Give
They've
them that.
had, other teams have had Zach Wilde out there playing the national anthem. They've had all these guitar players playing the national anthem.
Even the NFL, Nita Strauss,
Yeah.
she's the LA girl. When the Rams moved back to LA, she's the LA Rams guitar player. She
Right.
plays on their home games. If she ain't on tour, she plays the national anthem. And then sometimes she'll play 2 or 3 songs and
Right.
stuff too, off of her solo stuff.
But I'm going to tell you what. This year's Super Bowl, Chris Stapleton singing the national anthem.
Yep.
Okay. We have gotten completely off topic.
Yep.
And this video episode has went
Fuck else is new.
a long time. I think this is the longest video.
Yeah, probably right.
That's what she said.
Didn't we?
But
We should have recorded our phone conversation with Jackie last night. That would have set the record for the longest after dark.
I believe it would,
shit.
yeah.
No shit. So, on behalf of D. White,
Yeah.
your favorite Italian and mine,
Forward,
about it.
Florida, on behalf of Jack, you have just watched another episode of Stu Ham Productions Presents.
J&M, Solve the World. I have been James.
And I have been Matt. And until next time, you keep one fist in the gold, one foot in the gutter, and we will be seeing you.
Peace.